scene 10. Go!
Hi, my name is Kerry Caldwell and this is ZIA Cooking. I am so excited and glad you could join me today. I've always wanted to share my delicious recipes with all my friends and family, and now I can, because ZIA Cooking is the place where we're going to come together, we're going to learn more about cooking, and I am going to share with you all the amazing stories that I've learned from my family, from my ancestors, from our heritage. We'll be talking about recipes from northern New Mexico all the way to southern New Mexico. ZIA Cooking is where it's at. We're gonna get together, we're gonna share recipes, we're gonna have fun, and we are gonna bring dinner to the table. Hi, welcome to ZIA Cooking Kitchen. I'm glad we're together again today, just like I always am. We're gonna be creating some chilequiles. Yes, we are chilequiles today, and we're going to do them miga styles because I'm going to be incorporating some scrambled eggs. This is a delicious southwestern breakfast, but you can also make it for dinner or for lunch, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to be cooking for two, so you can always adjust this to a larger quantity if you're making it for a family or maybe for a brunch. So we're going to start with some corn tortillas. Now traditionally, when making these chilequiles, we're going to be cooking them in our skillet today. And so I like to cut these into triangles. You can also put them into strips or squares, but this is the way that I've always done them. So I'm gonna go ahead and prepare them that way today. Some people make chilequiles with tortilla or tostada chips that are already been fried and that you just pour them out of the bag. But I prefer to use the corn tortillas when I'm making them. So the next thing we're going to do, these are chopped and ready to go. I have my small skillet, and again, we're just cooking for two today. So I'm adding a light amount of oil. And when I talk about a light amount, I'm thinking of maybe 1-2 tablespoons maximum, because we are going to be making this as a one skillet meal, so we don't have to use several skillets. When I'm making it for a large crowd though, I will use more oil and I'll fry a big batch of the chips and then I'll put them to drain while I'm preparing the rest. But I'd like to show you how to do this today because it's quick and it's easy and it keeps the dishes down. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, I'd like you to go ahead and do that now. It really is a wonderful thing to see people giving me feedback and to see the subscribers coming back and seeing new videos each time that they come around. So I have this right here. We're going to turn this up to medium high, and I'm putting in that light amount of oil. And if you'll go ahead and follow along, I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. We're going to simply drop in our cut white tortillas. And I'm just going to spread those out around the pan. Now sometimes I've seen some of my friends growing up, their moms would simply just get the tortillas and tear them up into strips, and that's okay too. Whatever works best in your kitchen. Remember, you're the boss and you're in charge when you're cooking for yourself and you're for your family. So as I'm adding these in there, I'm going to lightly toss them just to make sure. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to toast these. Now by toasting them there in the oil, you can see that we're just going to toss them around so everything gets lightly covered. I'm going to go ahead and let those cook, and you want to make sure that you keep these at a medium or a medium low. Do not burn these. There's nothing worse than having to start all over again. And we want to make sure that everything is cooked evenly in our frying skillet today. What we're going to be doing, and I want to take a minute and talk a little bit about chilequiles. There are so many different ways of making them, and basically chilequiles means that you're going to take your tortillas and your sauce and your cheese and you're going to make them in a skillet type. But I'm making mine miga style, which means I'm going to use a scrambled egg mix. Now, some people use the word miga, some people use the word chilequiles. Does it matter? I just use the word good food, and I think that everybody should get along over that. Sometimes, if you're not wanting to use a scrambled egg base, you can always make it just like I am now, and you can add the salsa directly to your chips. And you can fry your eggs separately and put them on top. I know some of my family likes to have the fried eggs rather than the scrambled version I'm doing today. So while these are browning, and again, I'm cooking them slow, and they usually take a couple of moments to come together and start frying, I like to keep a good close eye on them, and we'll go ahead and we'll start with the salsa. Now, when you look at the description below, you're going to be able to click on the title and you just hit the drop down and you'll have all the ingredients that are going to be listed there so you can follow along. But today we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the blender and we are going to use our chopped hatch green chili. It's already been roasted. And notice when I defrosted it, I kept some of the liquid in there because I'd like to make this into a creamy salsa base. So I'm going to add in about a cup and you can add what you like. I like a nice good green chili and this is a mild medium blend. Remember, it doesn't have to be too hot. And I'm going to add in some chopped white onion and a couple cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to chop these in half. Doesn't have to be too much, but we're going to go ahead and make sure that those get incorporated there. So plug your ears because I'm about to blend away. Here we go, guys. Now, perfect. I like to incorporate that onion. I like to have the garlic in there with the green chili. And as our tortillas are still cooking, I'm going to go ahead, now that I looked in there, don't be afraid to peek when you're blending or take taste tests along the way. You want to make sure that it's coming together just like you planned. And I'm going to go ahead and chop that up a little bit more. Oh yeah, that looks just like I wanted. So what I'm looking for is a consistency that's creamy, that's well blended, and it's got all the chili and the onions and the garlic. And I know some of you smart cooks have noticed that I didn't add any spices to this, and that was intentional because we're going to be spicing our chips and we're going to be adding our spices in the meal in another way. Now as you see these coming together, and I always say coming together and people want to know what that means. As we see this proceeding, we can see that our chips are getting coated with a nice little crisp on them, and some of them are soft. I like the different textures, and again, you're welcome to use pre-made tostada chips. Sometimes we're running late, we don't have time to do all of the things that we like to do in our kitchen, but this is the style that I like to do, and it's very affordable and it's a great way. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step, and that is where we are going to be whipping our eggs up. Now I've already showed off my fancy egg cracking skills before, but I'm going to show them off again today. And today, since we're cooking for two, I am simply going to be using 2 eggs. You can add as many eggs as you like. Some people like to add 4 or 5. It depends on what you like to do as an individual. But when I'm creating chilaquiles for breakfast, I like a light egg coating. I think that it goes great with the chips and the cheese, and it is absolutely delicious. So I'm just using a fork and I'm gonna whip these up. And as soon as our chips are ready, I'm gonna show you how easy it is to put together. Welcome back. Looks like our chips are ready to go, and I want to go ahead and point this out so you can see all those wonderful crispy bits. Now this is where the fun gets going, and it's going to come together real quick. So if you're interested in knowing how to make a 5-minute breakfast, hold on because here we go. I've already taken the time to whip those 2 eggs like I showed you, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply add them to my pan. And remember, we're using 2 eggs today because I like a light, easy scrambled egg on these chilequiles that I'm making miga style. And miga style meaning that I'm using the scrambled eggs rather than a fried egg today. So as I toss those over, you can see them cooking very, very quickly with those tortilla strips. Now, sometimes my kids growing up, we called these breakfast enchiladas because that's really what we like to call them, I guess, in my house. But they cook very quickly, and at this point, if you decided not to use the scrambled eggs, you would go straight to this section, and that is where we are going to just add in all that delicious chili. And that salsa is just beautiful, and I'm going to reserve a little bit for those who want to add extra on the side, but you see it just simply comes together. Oh, the smell of that garlic is incredible. It tastes delicious, at least through my nose. And talking about taste, remember, we always eat with our smell. We always eat with our eyes. So we want to make sure that things look beautiful and come together. And when I'm making my chili, I love being able to just put it in the blender. It really incorporates that onion. It gives it a nice smooth taste where I don't have any chunks of onion or garlic in it. And that's my preference. But you can also add the same ingredients, skipping the blender and adding them directly there. And you know how I never hold back on that queso. So let's go ahead and add in. Today we're going to use a medium cheddar. And because I am a busy gal, these are already been grated. But you can take the time to shred the cheese at home if you would like. And I'm also incorporating some Monterey Jack. I'm a girl who likes to use a couple different types of cheeses when I'm making these. Adding those there. And for spices, I'm going to go ahead and keep it simple. We're going to do some garlic, salt, and some pepper. Now, when you're cooking with eggs and you're cooking with tortillas, you always want to make sure you spice your food. Overspiced food can taste horrible, but food with no spices can taste even worse. So you want to find out what is a happy blend for you. Again, you're the boss of your kitchen. You're going to make what you like, so you can go ahead and sprinkle them in there. I'm going to let the cheese melt and tell you, when I'm making this Chilequiles style without the egg, what I usually do is after frying the tortillas, I heavily salt them while they're still hot because the oil is coated on the tortillas and it really allows the oil to soak in. But since I decided to add in the egg and the sauce, I did the spicing afterwards. So you can go ahead and add the spice at your comfort level at that time. Now this is gonna be ready in about 2 or 3 minutes and we're gonna put it on the plate. We're gonna take a big bite and I'm excited to show you what it looks like when we're done. Oh, look at this. It is ready to go. Oh, the smell is delicious and it looks incredible. I don't know if you can see that, but that gooey cheese has come together and it is just completely coated. Our great fried tostada chips, and it's covered in salsa, and that salsa is going to be delicious. I wanted to tell you guys how much fun I had today being in the kitchen, and I hope you learned something today, because I know one of the reasons I love cooking is nobody's an expert at it. I could learn to cook from everybody I meet, and I hope that you might learn something. Share with me one of your techniques, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and family. I'd like to get the word out in New Mexico and let them know how wonderful our food is. Simple ingredients prepared in a variety of different ways create delicious, wonderful meals. Let's go ahead and put this on our plate because I'm going to make everybody jealous, and I'm going to take a big bite of this lovely Chilequiles Migas Style in the ZIA Cooking kitchen. And that looks great. I better save some for the person I'm sharing with. Let's go ahead, take a bite, and I will give you an honest critique of my delicious cooking. I am a happy girl today. Chilequiles from the ZIA Cooking kitchen. You guys have a great day. Peace.